scale with the champs, the underdogs, the dreamers too. He's walking and talking just for you. Walking with Franco, stories unfold, wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends alive, every step's a suplex in time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Walking with Franco. I've said good morning because we are out on a lovely Sunday morning walk, and I have two of the best tag team wrestlers to grace the sport in Northern Ireland, and they are none other than the real standard, Blake Richards and Eddie Stone. Guys, I just want to say thank you for coming along this morning. And basically, if you would like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourselves, we can kick things off. If we start with Blake.
Good morning, everyone. Yep, Blake Richards. I've been wrestling now since 2016. Wow, you say it out loud, it's nearly 10 years now. So, yep, been wrestling for about 10 years now, coming into my 10th year, obviously. And feeling the old bumps, so I am, and the old joints. But yeah, part of it was a singles wrestler for quite a few years, and then as of 2022 formed the Standard faction and been teaming with this gentleman across from me ever since, and loving it.
Eddie Stone. I actually originally started in 2011, which is scary. Took a wee bit of a hiatus after that and came back then. I think it was 2014 or 2015. With Pro Wrestling Ulster. Again, started out as a singles guy. Bounced around a few tag teams, a few factions, and then here we are now as the real Standard. Looking a bit slimmer, we've dropped a wee bit of weight.
We'll get into that later on in the interview, but what's your first and earliest memories of wrestling?
I was watching the other night. My earliest is actually WrestleMania 3, I think it was, for the title tournament, where Savage wins in the final against Ted DiBiase. I think that was probably one of the only VHSs we had popping around the house, so it was on repeat all the time. So that is my earliest.
For those younger listeners, VHSs are things that came before DVDs and before streaming. Fond memories of Betamax in my house.
Yeah. Relics now.
Yeah. And what about you, Blake? What's your first memories of wrestling?
Just peppered about wee different bits, obviously, of Hulk Hogan, obviously being an 80s child. But the main one that sticks out for me is growing up back then, you know, they're talking about VHSs. The only really way you got to see wrestling back then was if someone had a videotape of it, or maybe one or two people in the whole estate that you grew up in had Sky.
Yes. And
you maybe got lucky enough every now and again to go to their house and maybe watch something. There was the old grainy picture, the dice all across the screen. But finally got round to one of my friends' house that had Sky, and there was the rerun one day we were there of the 1992 Royal Rumble. And for me, that just hooked me, because personally now, obviously being a fan for so many years and watching so much wrestling, I think that is the best Royal Rumble there's ever been, star-studded wise anyway. So there was all these different larger-than-life characters and colours, and they all really, really stood out. So that was my early. That was the one Ric Flair won.
Yes, and won the belt.
Yeah, that was for the belt, that's right. With a tear in my eye. The promo after was brilliant. Yeah, so watching that just had me hooked. Thought it was amazing.
So, growing up, who were your favourite wrestlers?
First favourite for me, brother and sister would have been a big Bret Hart fan. So I was introduced to Bret quite early on. Taker then. So I started slowly coming in as a favourite later in life. For me anyway, Eddie Guerrero, hands down.
Superstar.
probably one of the best to ever do it. Just, it's hard to find someone with that range now.
Yeah.
Could be a bad guy, could be a good guy. Have you angry, have you laughing, you know.
All in the space of 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about you, Blake?
For me, back in the day, it probably would have been Savage, Randy Savage, just with the colours and the outfits and the headband and the promos and just the craziness he has in him.
The gravelly voice too, always got you.
Fantastic. So good.
So why or how did you start training? I'm going to start with you, Blake.
I started training 2016 then. It was with PWU promotion back then, and we'd done, it's actually me, myself and Stephen Carvell, and we both done a beginner's boot camp, and I think it was 8 weeks. You done training once a week for 8 weeks, and you learned how to roll and do different bits and pieces, and you learned how to bump and land in the ring. And I think at the end of it, they would then, whoever they thought was good enough, they would promote them up to intermediates, as they called it at the time.
Yep.
So by the end of the 8 weeks, I think it was only me, Stephen Carvell, and there was one other guy out of maybe 20 guys. Then got actually promoted up to the intermediates, and then it all kicked off. That's the first time I met Eddie Stone as well in intermediates, and fond memory that everyone was quite standoffish because we were the greenhorns, the new guys, and training, and we were doing a running spot, as we all know it as an international, where you whip someone off, tackle, sleep, leap, hip toss.
Yeah.
And nobody really wanted to pair up with me and Carvell to do it with us, and we were in at the deep end of this stage, didn't really know what we were doing, and Eddie Stone turned around and he says, "Here, I'll do it with you." And I remember him doing it with me, and we kind of got it right straight away. I thought, I'm going to completely ruin this, I'm going to botch this, and it's going to be a disaster, and then I'm going to look stupid in front of everyone. And no, the chemistry was there straight away. Little did we know, 10 years later, we'd be teaming together.
Yeah.
And what about you, Eddie? What's your, why or how did you start training?
I had just been doing a wee bit of research and found out that PW had a school running. It was every Sunday in Arden Valley Scout Centre. So, and this is back, like, you wouldn't be training in a ring. It was just mats on a floor in the Scout Centre. I think once a month they done training in the ring. But again, you had to arrive early, set up the ring. Everybody gets in, does a bit of training. But the early days were learning how to bump. Yeah, literally break a ring right down after. But early days were learning to bump on those awful green mats on a wooden floor. So the body gave out a wee bit after that. So it did take the time away, and then came back. PW had just launched, it was Origin, wasn't that the name of the, like the trainee setup?
Yes, they used to do it at the Devonish.
Yeah, so they launched the Origin training school, signed up there, and literally haven't looked back since. I think I'm actually the only guy left from my intake that time, so everyone else has fell off the radar.
So who were your first trainers then, Eddie, back then?
DJ and JDP, literally, were my first trainers.
Yeah.
I think one of my first sessions, Corvin was knocking around as well, but I don't think he was taking training as such. I think he was down to try a few bits and pieces, so it was DJ and JDP, and then obviously years later I had my first match against DJ, and I also won my first title against JDP, which is a wee bit of a full circle kind of moment.
And cheers. What about you, Blake? Who were your first trainers?
Same, mate. It was JDP and DJ. They took the beginner's boot camp for those 8 weeks, as I was saying. And then when we went up to intermediates, it was, I think the first night in intermediates was Damien Corvin was taking training, and then I think Bonesaw was taking training too at that stage.
Would have been as well, and around that time, CTB, Christopher Tiberius Banks would have done more like a sort of technical class. Chris doesn't wrestle anymore, and you also had Johnny
Magic.
Koo, Magico,
Yeah.
as he was known. Would have taken a few classes as well, more focused on that sort of technical aspect as well.
And have you any memories from your first training sessions?
For me, it was that. That's a full memory, like, because it's a testament to how good of a human being, how kind of a human being Eddie Stone is in real life. You might not think it.
Definitely a lie.
You might not think it when you're watching him. But that, for me, that really stood out because I was really, really nervous.
Yeah.
You know, when you're nervous about something like that, and it was always a life dream for me since I was a boy to become a professional wrestler, but it just kind of never happened for me. And then all of a sudden, it was happening for me. So, and I did get through, you know, the boot camp.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your walk.
Boot camp there. I just went past us.
Get that all picked up there.
Yeah. Nice people down here. So,
Yeah, so I done the boot camp, and yeah, coming up was a big deal for me. So really anxious and all, you know, anxiety farts all around, and there he was.
Blamed all those in Carvel.
Despite the gas and the smells, he still done the international spot with me.
Brilliant. So, what was the hardest things for you to learn, Eddie, whenever you started?
I think it was more not so much selling, but like feeling comfortable selling in front of your peers. I think is one of those things. When you're in front of a live crowd, it's different. But when you're in front of people that you're training with and people that you're working with in a small environment, I think that's the stuff I struggled with at the start. Sort of trying to come out of your shell a wee bit. All the fundamentals were, I don't want to sound too cocky, but no, they came easy enough. It was just more the sort of the character side of things, and obviously that selling side of things, because it's entirely unique to wrestling, so it is. It's not something you can really teach, I suppose. It just comes with repetition.
And what about you, Blake? What was the hardest things for you to learn?
I would say being vocal.
Yep.
Actually started selling just back in the day when we were training and going through things. I just remember some of the trainers back in the day, they were saying, you know, you're starting to get your selling down, but you're selling and you're doing the movements of a sell. For example, you know, you're bumping and holding the back of your neck, holding your head, but not making any sounds. It's like a silent movie.
Offers or no sound, is what I would say.
Yeah, so that was just, but I think that was just a confidence thing. You know, the more that I did it, the more confidence that I had, and then the more vocal it became, and it's just become second nature to you, like brushing your teeth.
Some of us.
Once a week.
So how did the standard, or the real standard as you are now, come about?
It was the brainchild of Mr. Carvel.
Yeah.
He had this vision for it in his mind, and then he spoke to us about it. And that's one thing about Stevie, is he's such a creative mind. You know, he is very, very switched on, and he's got a great creative mind, creative genius, in my opinion. You know, the amount of ideas, you know, for us and himself and other people. You hear him talking to people.
Some ideas aren't so good. There's been a few promos where we were out filming, and he's like, oh, what if you do this? And it's an absolutely horrible idea. What was it?
We were out somewhere, some farm, and he says, you know, it'd be great if we went and stood beside those cows in a big puddle. We were like, no, maybe not.
Wear my good shoes.
Yeah.
Don't want to get my good shoes dirty.
To take this suit back to the rental company. No, it was all Stevie. I mean, he just came up and he came up with the name as well. It's just can't give him enough credit for, you know, for how creative he is and how many great ideas that he does have.
That was one of the things I loved as well when we were forming. We all dropped the word standard
Yeah.
into our 3 separate promos in different ways
To build it up.
to build it. So it was there in plain sight, but
Yes.
Sweet Easter egg.
when it finally came to fruition and I think it was JDP put all our promos together of us saying standard, standard, standard. That's when it was like, oh, right. It was in front of our eyes all along.
So you're both pretty accomplished, and you're former Titanic Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Eddie, you're a former wrestling champion with NIPW.
Yep.
What expectations or goals did you both have whenever you started out?
I guess I just wanted to wrestle, essentially. Didn't matter if it was full-time, part-time. It's just always been the thing that you wanted to do. And then actually getting to do that, getting on the road a wee bit. I started doing the wrestling.ie shows, so nearly maybe every weekend, every other weekend, you were away all weekend.
Yeah.
A couple of reps a night. And it sort of made you feel like you're getting somewhere, you're living the dream. I just wanted to wrestle, really. There wasn't no big, oh, I want to do this, want to do that. Just wanted to wrestle.
Yeah. And what about you, Blake?
For me, I think at the start, it was really about just, can I actually do this?
Yeah.
Can I do it? Can I go out there? Can I put on a good performance? Can I get through a full match? It might sound a bit silly now from where I'm at with it and the experience level that I have, but that's really what it was to actually be able to physically do it and go out there, and not only to do it, but to have a good match. And then I think the more that I went out, you know, and I'd felt within myself that I'd had a decent match and my performances were pretty good, then it was right, I can kick on here and have better matches and have better performances and get good reactions, the reactions that I want from the audience as well.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense when you think about it that way. So what's the best bit of advice that you guys could give to someone who's looking to start out training to become a pro wrestler and they're just not quite sure?
Just dive in with 2 feet. Give it everything you've got, because if you're gonna sort of half-ass it, your heart's not gonna be on it either. So if it's what you really want to do, I say just jump in and do as much as you can, as often as you can. So I done at the start, you know, down training 4 nights a week, and just add it. So yeah, just go for it.
What about you, Blake? What advice would you give to someone looking to start out?
I would say don't focus and I was guilty of this myself, don't get into it and focus on, I can do all these moves. I can do all these moves. Moves are meaningless. See, unless you have a connection with your audience, and unless you have some sort of character work that builds that connection with the audience, then moves are meaningless. You know, as I say, I was guilty of it myself. All I thought about at the start was, can I do all these moves? And I was doing, you know, moonsaults and flips and stuff, and which are pretty and they're nice to do, but there wasn't really any context within the match or connection with the audience when I was doing them, if that makes sense. So I would say 100% make sure you focus on all that other stuff is important, yes, as foundation, but make sure you establish that connection, build that connection with your audience. I would say focus on that.
just off the back of that as well, I would say go in, get your basics down first before you're trying to do all this mad stuff. I've seen guys come into schools before, and first day it's like when I was doing flip pile drivers. It's like, you know how to run the ropes? Do you know how to roll, bump? Let's get the basics down first.
Yeah, well, I know from helping out the trainees that there's a criteria set out, and you learn certain things for a reason first.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's it. It's just the coaches have a plan, and it's just roll with it.
Yeah.
But what's the best bit of advice that you've received from a trainer or someone in the past?
Oh, jeez, you put me on the spot here. God.
You're thinking.
To be honest, I would say what I pretty much was kind of just talking about there, that's for me. It took a while for me to get that advice.
Yes.
And that was probably the best advice that I got was, where's your connection with your audience?
Yep.
What is that connection? Is it, the psychology of the match? Is it the story that you're telling? Is it your promos? Is it the overall story that you're telling leading into the match?
Yep.
Is it things that you do or say when you're wrestling in the match? Things you interact with the crowd? For me, that was a big change for me. Game changer, I would say.
He probably wouldn't say it was advice. It was more like a plan. So back years ago, Bonesaw was taking training and sort of done a few of us up like a meal plan and a ring ready. I think it was ring ready in 6 weeks. I think it was called. Just like training plan, and you're eating just to get you in physical condition for what we do. But I think it's more that it's like obviously take care of your body because it's the only one you have.
Yeah.
And that's falling apart. Mine is.
Unfortunately, it comes to us all. So, have you two ever wrestled each other?
We have indeed. I want to say, did we ever wrestle on a .ie?
I don't think so.
I know we had a match in Uprising.
That was
like
a tournament match. That was a really good match. I really enjoyed that.
And then we wrestled for, it was NXG at the time, done School of Slams. It was like a charity show. A
few years back.
Yeah, it would have been a couple of years back. And we worked together on that as well. But I think that is maybe, I think we've only wrestled twice over that many years, one-on-one.
Quality over quantity.
I've never had a one-on-one with Stevie either. In all the years that we've been about.
Yeah.
We've never actually wrestled Stevie.
So I'm guessing like you've more or less wrestled every tag team in Titanic. But is there any teams that you just haven't faced off against in Titanic that you would like to face off against?
Don't think we've wrestled the Stars Aligned.
We haven't, no.
No.
We wrestled Stu. Stu tagged with Gary Gibson.
Had a good match.
And we've obviously wrestled Mohan when he was with Redmond.
With the Hallions.
But we've never wrestled them together as they are now. As the full package, as the Stars Aligned.
So if Titanic management came to you and said, guys, we want to bring in someone big for you two guys to face off against at the next show, but would like you to give us an idea of who you would like to face off, and you can pick anybody you want, who you picking?
It's a good one.
We talked about this at one stage about a few tag teams. The Billington Bulldogs.
Oh yes.
Was one for a while. There's two lads I had wrestled at an OTT camp. Scottish lads, KOE. Just recently done the Ring of Honour tapings in Glasgow there. Again, those guys, I think for me, would be one to watch out for, one that I'd love to see come over here.
Yeah.
Two good lads, two big lads that can do a lot. Very, very athletic for their size.
I think if we're talking anybody here.
Anybody you want.
I think it has to be FTR, doesn't it?
Oh,
I would love to work FTR. It'd be amazing.
that would be a match I'd like to see now.
60 minutes.
Don't have the body for
With
that.
4 breaks in between.
So, I'm guessing between the two of you, you have wrestled all over the country. Is there anywhere that you would like to wrestle?
Scotland for me would be one. I've had a few trips over to England over the years before. Wrestled for Full Tilt Wrestling in Newcastle, TNT Extreme Wrestling in Liverpool.
Newcastle would be sort of lower Scotland.
Geography, I didn't do geography.
Accents similar.
And in-out wrestling, done a few shows in and around England that I had done as well. Germany though looks really appealing.
Yeah.
I see Redmond is over there at the minute,
Yes.
killing it. Germany was always one. Yeah.
What about you, Vic?
Yeah, would be similar. Would be getting across the water, getting across the shuck, and
Dipping toes in.
yeah, I think getting across Europe would be great.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be nice to perhaps, you know, spend a summer if it worked out, you know, where you just go right across and then work your way back.
Being greedy, I'm in one show. He wants to do the whole summer.
What's the summer?
Well, it's a summer tour.
Hey, shoot for the stars.
You'll earn your keep.
Yeah.
He's getting the stuff in there, so he is.
So whenever it comes to show days, do you guys have any superstitions or anything that you'd like to do before?
I always like to get my boots on and my gear on early.
Yeah.
I really don't like that feeling of having to lace your boots. As we all know, anyone has boots, excuse me, in wrestling, lacing your boots is that's the longest part of your getting ready. So I like to get my boots laced up, and obviously wearing tights and knee pads, that all has to go on first too. So pretty much I'm near enough fully ready. By the time my boots are laced, I just have to maybe put my wrist tape on and wrap my hands and excuse me, get my jacket and stuff ready and get warmed up. But yeah, getting the boots laced.
I think there's that fear of you in the middle of doing your boots and your music's playing.
Yep.
And I've seen it happen, and it is magnificent. Years ago, Daddy shows, depending who was booked, you would have maybe done 2 matches, but it's 2 different characters, so you had to change in between.
Yes.
Luther Valentine was on this particular show and was still in the middle of trying to get his boots laced up in his second change, and his music's playing.
Oh.
And it's been playing for a good 20-30 seconds, and he's nowhere to be seen, and he's backstage trying to get the boots on, and then he can't find the mask. He's running around backstage looking for a mask. Just comical, but I think it's a fear. You're sitting there and your music's playing, and it's like,
and it's happened too, where you know you think you're on maybe one before the main event, or you're on main.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're before intermission.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's a scramble to get ready.
So I remember not so long ago there was a show where you guys came out and one of you only had one boot on, the other one had toilet paper hanging at the back of his tights. And
Sure, that wasn't a Saturday night on the town.
so what do you guys like to do outside of wrestling?
sleep. I suppose a lot of my time spent with my wife and my dog, outside of wrestling, outside of work. But other than that, just like to unwind and sit with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Just kick the feet up and just have a wee hour to yourself, just gaming to wind down.
What do you like to play on the PlayStation?
I go through phases, so I'm back in my Call of Duty phase at the minute. It's just something easy. They don't have to concentrate on. It's point and shoot.
Yes.
So anything that I have to overly think about or pay attention to, especially if you're coming in after a day of working, is just a no.
You just want to
Call
chill
of
out
Duty's
with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Call of Duty's the easy one.
What about you, Mr. Richards?
Obviously it would be at the gym. Like to train, like to try and do a bit of recovery. I'll hit the sauna, I'll hit the steam room. Started cold plunging there for recovery about a year or so ago, and love doing that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for recovery. It's great for your mental health, your physical health. You just come out of it buzzing. It was
How
actually
long do you stay in for?
usually 4 minutes if it's cold enough,
Yeah.
and if it's working. It's at the local leisure centre, and sometimes it's not running properly, so it's warmer. But
Right.
you can kind of tell when you get in if everything about your central nervous system screaming.
Certain things disappear, you know, it's cold enough.
Usually 4 minutes. So I was actually watching AJ Styles. I think it was the lead up to AJ versus Cody Rhodes last April, was it, at Backlash?
Yes.
And it was AJ's return, and he was jacked.
Yes.
He was in fantastic shape, and I love AJ. He's one of my favourite wrestlers. And they done a whole video package of him training, and he was doing it. He was doing a sauna, and he was doing a plunge pool in cold water, and that's what he'd said. He'd recommended 4 minutes. So that kind of, I thought, I'll give that a go, and never looked back. I absolutely loved it.
I've seen, get this right here, DDP is quite fond of that too. I've seen videos on YouTube and Facebook and stuff of him doing it. And obviously with his yoga and stuff, he sort of knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
So this is my favourite part of the show. It's called the heat sheet. And it's designed to try and get you guys a little bit of heat, either with wrestlers or people at home, with friends and family.
We don't need any more heat.
And again, the thing is that anything that makes you two look bad helps to make me look good. So it's the same question to both of you, so if you just take your turns and answer it. Did you ever break something and cover it up?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us what it was?
So growing up with a brother and two sisters in the house, single mum, it's quite a handful. So you wouldn't get it now, but the wooden spoon used to be what was it? The weapon of mass destruction. So between us, we broke the wooden spoon and hid it, so that we couldn't get a wooden spoon round the backside. Didn't stop. Like there was then, I think, a slipper or a shoe was brought in replacement.
My grandmother used to hit you with a wet dishcloth. And it was like, you know, the way you see guys in the change rooms with the towels,
wrapping them up.
That she was just like, you felt it for days. What would you be like?
This is a bit of a random one. Back in the day, many years ago, must have been about 10, and my father at night used to do Chinese food deliveries. But one night his car was broke and he couldn't work, but they didn't have a driver. So the owner of the restaurant, or the takeaway, he had said, you know, he could borrow his car, and it was like I think it was like a Mazda MX-5 or something like that. It was really nice, a lot nicer than the car that we had.
Yep.
Chitty chitty bang bang. So we get into the car, and it had this nice. Do you remember tape decks? I was talking about VHSs earlier. This is another back in time. So they had a wee tape deck, but it had like, you know, like a wee lid on it. So when you push the cassette in, this wee plastic kind of flap on it.
Yes.
Pushed back inward.
Yep.
And then you push the cassette in, and then you could press play. So I was looking at this, and this radio looked like a technological advancement. And there's me, don't push these buttons, pushing away at all the buttons. What's that there? Push the wee flap on it, and it just fell inward and didn't come back out again. So then there was this big light that was beaming out from the inside, It was like a firefly. And so I pushed this in, and then we proceeded to drive along. And then my dad didn't even notice it, but it was the takeaway owner's son. He noticed it straight away, and he was working like the reception, the desk, taking calls, taking deliveries.
Yeah.
He says, obviously people called me Richard back then. Says, Richard's broke that. He's broke that. And I was like, no, I didn't. You know, in the tone of voice that's absolutely guilty.
Yeah.
So this went on, and then the owner was getting annoyed, and they were all looking in this car. And did you do this? Did you do this? I didn't do this. To the point then where my dad took obviously my side, and he turned around to them both, and he's like, "Look, Richard didn't do it." Blah 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 blah. Started cutting a promo on them, but obviously I did.
Miller Moo, the milk to drink when feeling blue. Miller Moo, four flavors, which one's for you? Strawberry, banana, chocolate, cookies and cream. Miller Moo, we love you.
So, have you ever borrowed something and never give it back?
An elbow sleeve of Eddie Stone, still in my bag.
I want to say yes. Probably as well. Go back to the VHSs. I probably borrowed a few, but never found their way back to their owners. A few N64 games actually still in my mom's house that were borrowed as well. Never to be seen again.
Still work. Them things were built for that.
Oh, unreal.
What's your favourite animal?
Great white shark.
God damn it. Great white shark. Yeah, great white shark.
Yeah.
Apex predator of the ocean. Like,
Love 'em.
they're just class. I'd actually looked when I was out in Australia. I was pricing going into one of the cages.
Yeah.
To dive with them, but I was like,
Love to do it. Would love to do it.
it's like thousands though.
Really?
It's like 2,500 American Australian dollars. At the time, and I was like, oh, I would love to, but that is breaking the bank for me.
Who wins in a real fight
Between us?
between you two?
Don't know.
He's sneaky. He's sneaky. Yeah. See that? He tried to throw me under the hedge there.
You do what you must.
Yeah, well,
Win.
as I used to tell Jack, you know, there's no such thing as dirty fighting. It's just winning and losing. So, who do you text the most?
My wife.
Uh,
You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
probably Carvey. Probably
Yeah.
Stephen Carvell.
Your wife.
You got the long hair anyway.
Apart from that, though, there's about 1 million. It's not so much texting; it's 1 million Instagram notifications a day,
Yeah.
and I could
Funny
tell you,
videos.
I could probably guess who's going to send it by the time that it arrives.
Yeah.
Redmond's a big one
Yeah.
for the Instagram memes.
Oh, constant. You check your phone at the end of the day and you have about 20 messages.
Did you ever have to do detention when you were at school?
Yes,
All the time.
I actually got caught in school. That makes no sense. But one of my mates had excused himself to go to the toilet and randomly appeared in one of my classes and walked into the teacher and was like, David's needed at the principal's office. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
What have I done wrong?
Yeah. And came out and he's like, I got you out, didn't it? And then we're just dandering about the school and ended up getting caught by DJ Keane, former down player,
Oh,
angry man.
I remember a few years ago, I was out for dinner up in Hillsborough, and I looked over to this table beside me. Where's my old PE teacher? And he was a great man, so he was. He used to be a boxer, and he always ran. He was super fit, and he was my head of year as well. And I went over and says, "Sir, do you remember me?" He turned up and looked at me. He says, Mr. such and such. He says, Mr. Richards. He says, how you doing? First thing he said to my wife at the time was, I remember when he glued some fella's arse to the seat in school. The fella went to get up and the chair went with him. First thing he said.
There was a teacher at my school, Miss McManus, Jackie McManus, he was called. He played football for, I can't remember if it was Dundalk or Drogheda, and they were playing in one of the European competitions. And it went to penalties, and when he went up to take his penalty, his leg got stuck. So his nickname was Jackie Rubberleg. I remember one time at PE, we used to have the big PE halls near the basketball nets, and he chipped the ball and went right up into the net. And one of the guys says to him, "Do that again, sir." And he says, "You wouldn't ask Paul Daniels to do the same trick twice, would you?" But my brother was a big football guy, so he was always, Mr. McManus was his favourite teacher, you know, because he was able to talk football with him.
I remember Mrs. Merton had, was it Debbie McGee was his wife? Paul Daniels' wife?
Yes, that's right.
And Mrs. Merton, I thought she was brilliant, like, she was really funny. And her first question to Debbie McGee was, what is it you see in the multi-millionaire Paul Daniels?
Yes.
Why are you married to him?
Name a 4-letter word beginning with D.
Dump.
I think that's why I just give you one there.
Yeah.
Where's your favourite place to shop?
Jeez, I spend all the money on Tesco. Like,
It's a job requirement.
the job requirement to get the money back that they pay me. Yeah, just because discount.
Probably Amazon, lazy shopper.
Yeah. What was the last thing you ordered off Amazon?
Probably wrist tape, I would say.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
you were about to say something.
No, I was actually I bought Eddie Stone wrist tape. I bought myself wrist tape, but
Is that even printed yet?
made the mistake of going for the cheaper option.
Yes.
You had to wrap yourself up twice to get it right.
Yeah, well, that's a wee bonus there for anybody listening. Is buy good wrist tape.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The
old good zinc
oxide tape. Yeah.
So, what's your favourite type of music?
Oh, I'm a bit of a varied listener, so like you get a bit of rap, you get a bit of heavy metal, and everything in between. Like on the way down the road there, Kneecap randomly came on, so
Yes.
Kneecap and playlist, and then I was just pulling in to use Smiley Manson playing. So it's like one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I just have a complete varied playlist. My youngest son, who's 7, you know, when we're in the car together, I just have a playlist, Amazon Music, and there could be everything and anything on it, you know. Bit of thrash metal and a bit of 90s pop.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, I love all types of music.
On the radio at the minute, I'm not a big Cool FM fan, but Cool FM's always on the car radio.
Yeah.
And with their old school weekend playing at the minute,
Ah,
I just bringing back all
All the classics.
You know, a lot of memories. What's your favourite movie?
Jaws. I think it's the greatest movie ever made. It's fantastic. And 50th anniversary
and
now this year.
It has a great white shark on it.
And it has great white shark. That's why great white shark's my favourite animal. Well, it's a fish, technically. Oh, I'm a nerd.
For me, it's Warrior, with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. Yeah,
Great movie.
if you've never seen it, literally check it out. Kurt Angle makes a wee cameo in there as well.
That's right. He fights with him, doesn't he?
It's just the whole story through the whole movie, and then obviously when it culminates, the end, it's might have shed a tear or two at that one.
Never tell you, Franco, you always remind me of a young Tom Hardy, see you?
I used to get, don't be laughing, but the drama teacher used to say to me, I reminded him of a young Tom Cruise.
I love it. You ever see the Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie?
Yes.
And they go into the solicitor, and he's Tom Cruise.
Yes. Yes.
As in a boat cruise.
Yes. Just saying about Jaws there. Checo's not a great movie person, but I remember him as a kid. He came down and he says to me, "Have you watched Jaws there?" And I was like, "Yeah, what was your favourite part?" He goes, "Was they're showing each other their scars?" And the guy goes, "Right here, Mary McCracken broke my heart."
And that's a great wee scene, and then they both got scars on their legs and they go,
Yes.
"Will we drink their legs?"
Yes.
Love it, absolutely love it. Obviously everyone knows I have a good sense of dad humour,
Yes.
dad jokes and stuff. I get that from my own father, who has a brilliant sense of humour.
Well, this was the next question. What never fails to make you laugh?
Well, that would be my dad.
Yeah.
My dad and his jokes, one of his jokes talking about Jaws there. Quint gets at it and he goes, "That fella was never in any movies after he got it."
For me, toilet humour is just, it never ceases to not make me laugh. Yes, I'm a big child.
I would play a good when you're talking about dad jokes there. My dad has a friend who's the same name as me, and he would often send me a text message, and you would look at it and you would go 3, 2, 1, and the next message comes in. Obviously, that wasn't meant for you; it was meant for the other. Who's the most annoying person in Titanic wrestling?
I think we're walking beside him right now. I've heard that name floating around, Blake Richards.
I would have to say there's a fella, very good looking fella in Titanic, kind of skinhead, by choice, but by the way. Wears a fleshy coloured yarmulke on the top of his head.
Right?
Is it Blake Richards? Guy's infuriating.
All I know, Stephen Carvell is a close second.
Yeah.
You have to have eyes in the back of your head every show day.
Absolute prankster.
Especially Steve Carvell.
Prankster. Level 10. He got me, did I tell you he got me the other week?
No.
He got me with a cockroach, a pretend cockroach. He's always got these gimmicks.
Yeah.
He always has these gimmicks. He's always been like that too, as long as I've known him. Known him for 20 years longer. He's always been a prankster.
Well, that was the next question: was who's the funniest person in Titanic wrestling?
Oh,
I would say KMK.
Kieran's hilarious. Oh, he is.
Just everything's a one-liner. Everything's
Yes.
comedy.
He's just
It's
such a
brilliant.
quick thinker with the stuff. Just
Yes.
straight off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Even when he's wrestling, he'll come
Yes.
off with things he'll say or do, and it's just he's hilarious.
If you could have any type of car, which car would you pick?
Honda Civic Type R. It's always the car I wanted, and I, have had to settle for a dad mobile now.
Yeah, it comes to this all. Comes to this all, unfortunately.
I would love a G Series Merc, big
Oh.
Jeep, but funnily enough, I don't have a spare $100,000 in my bank account, so.
I once came home with an old Mercedes Series 7. It had the 2 seats in the boot that pointed out the back. And I actually bought it off a guy I worked next to who was a Mercedes mechanic. And there's about 110,000 miles in this car. And he was like, "That's my wife's one over there. Go over and look at it." And I looked at it. There was 310,000 miles on it. And I thought, this thing will run forever. This is brilliant. I says, "Look, you mind if I bring it home and show it to the wife and see what she thinks?" "Aye, that's no problem. Go ahead." I brought it home, and I think at the time we only had the 2 kids, and they were like, "Wow, they couldn't go to the seats in the back. This car's fantastic." And the wife was like, "I'm not driving that thing. Look at the length of it." I was like, "It's a Mercedes. That'll last us forever. It's a good car." She's like, "I'm not driving it." So I had to go back the next day. I was sort of tail between the legs. The wife's not too pleased with it.
It's because it's too long. Yeah.
She's like, "How am I supposed to park that?"
That's my wife won't touch my car at all.
Yeah.
So she won't.
So, who would you most like to have a beer with?
Oh. Is this ever?
Ever.
It might be a wee bit obvious, like stone cold.
Yeah.
I just sit down, have a beer, and
He would be
just
putting his
have
beer so
an
it wouldn't touch
act.
anything.
Exactly. Just have a chat. Like, the man's been around for years.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be good crack.
I think I've been listening to for quite a few years now the Bruce Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard podcast.
Bruce Pritchard, yes.
And if I could maybe just, I would love to have a beer with Bruce and Conrad and
Yeah.
just listen to the stories that they tell, because there's
Yeah.
so much knowledge, so many stories there back from the golden era of wrestling in the 80s right up to now. So
Good old days.
bend the rules a wee bit.
What's your favourite sandwich?
Oh, does a Philly cheesesteak count as a sandwich?
I
Yeah.
think count that as a sandwich in Philadelphia.
I would say this is a Mickey Flanagan one, and I think he's very true about it. He says, as soon as your missus walks out the door, man gets a bit of time on his own. What does he do? Makes himself a sausage sandwich. Sausage sandwich with red sauce.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
So, I always promise the listeners that there would be a lot of laughs in this podcast, and we've had some laughs today, but can you tell us something funny that you've seen in wrestling?
Where do we begin?
Oh, I think a few of mine aren't safe for being on a podcast. I'm trying to think. Even just silly stuff like this past weekend, when we got the glasses with the big fake nose and the mustache and stuff on it. It's just, I turned around and I seen DJ coming at me, and it's just the complete look of like, what?
They weren't expecting it.
No,
So they weren't.
Just any sort of silly humour like that.
Yeah.
If you can get away with. Actually, there was one. You were reffing a match with me and Franco.
Yes.
And Stevie.
Oh.
On the outside of the ring, doing his shenanigans, kept untying your shoes.
I tried my best to stay away from the ropes, and because you two are in the middle of the ring, I get this guy backstage.
Oh,
There's going to be bloodshed.
It is. It's just those silly wee things you remember.
This is going to involve you again. You were reffing a match between me and Tucker a few Decembers ago. And I heard your story from your first episode about the bagel.
Yes.
Which I thought was brilliant. But you were reffing the match.
Yep.
You were reffing the match, and we were going over just one of the last parts of it, and I had hit Tucker with a belt shot.
Yes.
And I'd said to you, you're Earl Hebner today.
Yes.
I says, you're going to have to do the big, slow championship count.
Yeah.
Then during the match, all we heard was, championship count.
Yeah.
And the match was done and dusted. Had a great match, really enjoyed it. That night, ping,
yes.
Facebook Messenger. The wife says to me, why are you grinning? I turned around here and said, championship count.
Yeah, I was just sitting at home having a beer, and I just I just started laughing.
I laughed so much.
I was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, championship count. She was like, what? I was like, you had to be there. Well, listen, guys, I just want to say thanks very much for coming out today. I know it was an early start this morning for you, but it's a great morning. We're up and at it. I will be going to training shortly if I can get Jack out of bed. But guys, again, thank you so much for coming along. I have had so much fun today. It's been great talking to you, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Very welcome. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. So, folks, please stay tuned to our socials, because on Monday we will once again drop the old guess the guess for next week. Keaton, if you're listening, I think we'll let you go back to guessing again. We'll at least give a few others a chance. Folks, please take care of each other, and we'll see you next week.
Step by step through the wrestling tale, Franco's got the stories that never go grow stale. With the champs, the underdogs, the dreamers too. He's walking and talking just for you. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Oh, gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the stars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. From the streets of Rome to the locker room door, every walk's a match you can't ignore. Grapples and glory, the highs and the scars. Franco's footsteps are chasing the stars. He's got the moves and the pasta charm, a gladiator's heart with a wrestler's arm. Through the ropes of life, the stories climb. Franco's walking and it's prime time. Walking with Franco, stories unfold. Wrestling hearts in a ring of gold. Walking with Franco, legends align. Every step's a suplex in time.